In preparation for landing, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
So you've been following me on social media. You might have seen recently that I was in Washington, D.C. at the White House at the National Design Studio. And you might have been asking yourself, and I'm sure you were, why in the world was Drew Wilson at the White House? What was he doing there? What's that whole thing about? So this is that story of how I ended up at the White House at the National Design Studio, hanging out with Joe Gebbia and the rest of the NDS crew. So there I was, just minding my own business on a Thursday, and I got this DM from what I thought was just a Twitter rando. And then I looked up who that person was, and I was like, oh, okay, so this person works at the National Design Studio. I had heard of the National Design Studio, but it wasn't like super familiar with what they were up to and what they were doing. And so I replied, hey, do you want a demo of Opacity? Not sure why in the world they're just hitting me up. We scheduled a demo for the very following day, chatted with them, and then they said, why don't you fly out to DC and let's keep talking about Opacity. And so that very next week, I flew out and headed out to DC. Just after 7 a.m. and I'm headed out to Washington, D.C. It's going to be a fun trip. So after I land in DC, I walk in and the National Design Studio had already set me up with a room. So I go to check in, get upstairs, get changed, and I'm excited to go meet the crew in the office, but it's a little bit too late coming from California to DC. You arrive kind of late. And so I was going to meet the team for dinner. Got my DC appropriate clothes on and headed down to the restaurant. Day one in the books. Just had a fun dinner and evening with the National Design Studio crew. They gave me this cool hat, the National Design Studio, and got to know some of them a little bit and got some really good steak. It's very late, so I'm going to get some sleep, and then we'll be back at it again tomorrow and just grind through the whole day. So looking forward to it. Made it through security, and now I'm gonna head into the Eisenhower building for my first time on the White House grounds. Pretty cool. The Eisenhower building is where the National Design Studio is located, and that's directly across from the White House. I mean, it's just a few steps from it. And inside the Eisenhower building, besides the National Design Studio, there's a bunch of other offices, including the Vice President's whole suite of offices. And it's a very cool building to see the architecture that early Americans in the 1800s were building back then. The size of that building, the detail, the craftsmanship was incredible to see. And on that first day, in addition to talking about Opacity, I got to take on a project for the National Design Studio and build something for them over the course of 2 days, which was really cool. And having met Joe Gebbia, who started the National Design Studio, and Ed Korstein and the rest of the team, it was really cool to see how they work together. And it's very much like a Silicon Valley startup right there, right next to the White House. And then I got to spend the day walking around the National Mall, checking out all the monuments and experiencing that part of America and that architecture that we don't really get on the West Coast. Last day, I'm leaving the office for the last time. Passing a motorcade, probably for the president. That's the West Wing right there. Absolutely incredible experience, and so cool to see what the team's building and have played a teeniest itty-bittiest part in some stuff. I feel very thankful that team, that Joe put together that team, because they really are bringing some killer design and thought to America's websites and digital footprint. It was a very cool experience, and thankful to be a part of it. And this also is the first time I've worn a business casual suit. So there we go. First for everything. So working at or with the National Design Studio right now is like an insanely unique opportunity. And if you're in tech and you are a big fan of America, like this is the chance. This is the opportunity. They're kind of at the top of the admin chain. They have access to anything they want to have access to. And that just hasn't happened before. I don't know if it will happen again. So right now it's just like this insanely unique time to have like a huge impact on America if you're in tech and want to work in that space. So I'd highly suggest checking out the National Design Studio and applying. They're hiring right now.
Everything I touch turn to gold. If I dream, then I win. Yeah, we golden. I don't see this life getting old. 20 G's on my wrist.
Back in San Diego, and it is perfect out. It's like 73 degrees. The humidity is on point, and it's so nice always coming back to San Diego because for me, it's just perfect. And coming from Washington, D.C., which is amazing, man, was it cold and windy. And my poor SoCal skin is not used to that. And so it's always nice to land, walk outside the airport, and feel the San Diego air and weather. And it does not disappoint once again. So time to head home. So now you know why I was in DC and at the National Design Studio. Again, I feel so honored to have been asked to come out to the White House. It was such a cool experience for me personally. And just a huge thanks to Ed, to Joe, to the rest of the NDS team. You guys are doing amazing work. Keep killing it. Keep it up. If you're interested, like I said, definitely reach out to them. And now for me, it's back to building Opacity, building the team, and building an absolutely incredible product for all of you.